Hi, folks. Welcome to episode 124 of the Wealth on Any Income podcast. This is where we talk about money tips, techniques, attitudes, information, and provide inspiration around your business and your money. I'm your host, Rennie Gabriel. In past episodes, we spoke about how to understand the numbers from your business, how to measure the level of pleasure based on where you spend your money, how to track your money in 5 to 10 seconds, what determines how close you are to complete financial choice, and how to run your business without being in your business. Last week, we had Ralph and Brian White, two business coaches, one of whom I've known for 30 years, who took one business from $8 million a year in revenue to over $1.4 billion in revenue. Today, we have as our guest, Elena Zucker. Elena, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Perfect.
Great. As
you.
the president of Elena Zucker Associates, a management, training, and consulting firm in Montreal, Canada, Elena is a seasoned businesswoman, educator, author, and consultant. Her clients have included Fortune 500 corporations such as AT&T, American Express, IBM, and Bank of America. She's the author of 6 books on leadership, management, assertiveness, influence, and communication. Her best-selling book, The 7 Secrets of Influence, has been translated into 4 languages. Elena, welcome to the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Thank you so much, Ren. I'm so happy to be here. Great.
Terrific. Well, let's get right to it with some questions.
Sure.
All right. Well, okay. So you talk about leadership, management, assertiveness, and all this stuff. Tell me why.
What a great question. Well, I am a graduate. I have a PhD of the School of Hard Knocks in New York City. So I lived in New York for 25 years. This is my home. I'm in Montreal right now, folks. But I lived in New York City for a long time. I was in advertising and marketing. And then I went back to graduate school and seriously did not get a PhD in hard knocks. But, I started my consulting practice without any contacts, I really didn't know any people in the field, which is called organizational development.
Mm-hmm.
And the why is that I like to help people be more proactive in their lives and their careers. So it's kind of a continuum. I started off teaching communication and assertiveness, and then I developed a program about influence. So you could say that it's a little more hard-hitting. It's more precise. So it isn't just standing up for yourself. It's really how to proactively persuade other people, and influence happens one person at a time, even in groups. But it's the why, I would say, is I want to empower other people to feel like they're more in charge.
Thank you, Elena. And now you told me you listened to my TED Talk, so you know that I donate 100% of the profits from my books and programs to charities. Tell me what's the cause or charity that's most important to you and a little bit about what they do.
Well, it's very nice. I'm glad that you asked that question, because I think everybody has a sort of favorite in that realm, and we may not be able to, donate 100%, but we try to, many of them are funded by little donors, so we have to keep it going. So the ACLU is something that's very dear to my heart, because we see what's happening regarding, too free speech and not enough free speech. I think it's super important in the US and everywhere. I mean, we see what's happening, in countries that do not have that opportunity. And then the Southern Poverty Law Center, you may not know, it's kind of a very archaic name, because that's where it started from. You're familiar with it, right?
Yes, I am.
So,
yes, I donate to them as well.
Good. So they are dedicated to hate crimes, and it's almost in a way, or hate speech. And, in a way, those two are the two charities I'm mentioning, the ACLU and the Southern Poverty, are kind of in a very delicate dance because we value free speech. But as we've seen, I guess, in the last, I'll say 6 years.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's not exactly code, but everybody knows what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
I understand.
People have been empowered, kind of given a free pass to leech their free speech into hate speech.
Yes.
And so, as I say, it's a very delicate dance. I never really thought about it this way, but between those two goals.
I get it. I get it. And thank you, because yes, I mean, we're certainly seeing the results of that here in the United States in the level of gun violence against different groups based on.
But here too,
Yeah.
Canada used to be such like a nice, sounds like a peaceful place, but I'm in a city. So this is, there's been a lot of anti-Semitism and a lot of racial animus.
Yes. Well, let's get back to the work that you do. Tell me kind of like who your target clients are.
Okay, good. Well, I've made a transition. So for the last, when you mentioned all those Fortune 500 companies,
Yeah.
I created a course, which I won't go into now, but people can go to my website, easyinfluence.com. Very
Yeah,
easy.
we'll add that not only at
Okay.
the end of the show, I'll ask you
So
about it, but I'll put it in
over
the show
the,
notes as well.
yeah, over the years, I refined this idea that I had. I like to call it the technology of influence. So, having been failed many, many times and succeeded many more times in the arena of New York business, I analyzed what are the skills and behaviors that successful influencers do. And let me just clarify, I know we don't have a lot of time now, but being a successful influencer doesn't mean having 1 million followers on Instagram. Okay. It's
Thank
what
you.
I call portable power, which is a set of skills that anyone can learn, practice, and master. So I broke down what these successful outcome behaviors are, and then I reconstructed them so that it's a model that was teachable. And so that came after much research and a lot of years of perfecting this model. So the target has been corporations and organizations. I've worked for a lot of nonprofits also, like the National League of Cities and some state governments.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the course is a 1 day class live. It was live for COVID to teach people how to have a better ratio of selling and influencing. So that's basically what the course promises and delivers. Now, during COVID, I worked with a very talented team of educational technology designers, and we created an e-learning version of the course. So now I've turned my marketing to expand my target customer, to answer your question, to individuals. So previously, you could only take advantage of my knowledge by buying a book, which really is good, but not enough.
Right.
Or belonging to an organization where my program was being offered. I didn't do much in the way of public webinars, public seminars. But now, since it's an off-the-shelf 12-module program at a very reasonable price, people can get what corporations have paid thousands for for a smaller investment and learn these skills, in the privacy of your home, office, or car, right? And the privacy is an important factor as well. So in addition to the corporate target market, which is one decision maker who takes the program in and offers it to hundreds, if you will, and it's a licensed program, so they can choose to buy the license, and then I will teach their trainers, internally. But now it's being offered to, people like me, individual solo entrepreneurs who would like to perfect their influence skills.
Oh, terrific. Now, earlier you mentioned lots of failures, lots of successes. Give me the most influential failure and what insight you gained from that.
Okay. How many minutes do you have?
We don't have a lot.
Okay. So let me get to the lesson first.
Okay.
Because,
then maybe we don't need the failure.
You're either succeeding or learning.
Yes.
In my book, right?
I agree.
And you know that. So I would say that the biggest failure was that I put all my eggs in one basket. Okay. So I had a lot of business coming from this little company in New Jersey called AT&T. Right? Like I became their go-to person. I don't know why the Manhattan consultants weren't going there, but they found me, and they basically gave me almost all of their training business, right? So as we say in New York, I really stepped in it. And what happened was I wasn't paying attention to marketing or working on my business. We say working on your business or in your business.
Right.
And they had huge monumental changes and reorganizations. And the people that were hiring me with their budget, they kind of were like redeployed. And I was like, cut.
Yeah. So
there I was from top of the world to where am I going to get my next client? And then this was a very also wonderful lesson. I stayed in touch with a lot of those people because, we were close. They were clients. I wasn't going to cut them out of my life just because of, their head office shenanigans. And another company was created 2 years later called Bell Communications Research, which used a lot of those people. But they were not allowed to use any of the training programs that were owned by AT&T.
Right, because you talked about the license.
Those programs were owned by me, many of them.
Yes.
And so as an outside vendor, they hired me for all the programs they knew had been already road tested with those similar populations. So, it ended up being a great triumph.
One of the things that I wanted to focus on is that you had a business that relied on one client. And so if one client disappears, so does your whole business.
Very not smart.
Exactly. But when you're in it, you don't see it, but it turned out okay. So thank you. If people want to know more, how do they get a hold of you? Is there some free resource that you can provide or information?
Yes. I don't know if you're going to post it when you post this.
Whatever link you provide will go in the show notes. People can just click on it.
Great. So the free resource is I'm very, very active in LinkedIn. And a while ago, I did a poll of LinkedIn members asking them, what is their take about influence? What is their definition? How do they think about it? Because they really are the audience that I'm marketing to. And I created a booklet. So it's called Influence, Myths and Truths. And it's a free booklet. And it's a compilation of all those answers of people just like you, who are listening to this. Entrepreneurs, professionals, and it's available at easyinfluence.com/ free dash booklet.
Perfect. And I've got that, and I will put that in the show notes.
Thank you.
Elena, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure. A lot of fun, and I love your questions.
Thank you.
Very thought-provoking.
And to my listeners, thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the Wealth on Any Income podcast on your favorite platform, and please rate, review, and subscribe. And if you'd like to know how books, movies, and society programs you to be poor and what the cure is, then log on to wealthonanyincome.com/TEDx. You'll hear my TEDx talk and can request a free 27-page roadmap to complete financial choice and receive a weekly email with tips, techniques, or inspiration around your business or your money. And if you'd like to see how you can increase your wealth and donate to the causes that touch your heart, please check out our affordable program, Wealth with Purpose, again on our website. Until next week, be prosperous. Bye-bye for now.